Boom, boom, boom. Stay locked, because we're the bomb.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank God it's Friday. New Music Friday. Hot Lagos again. Sola Rogers in the building. Welcome to the Boomba.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boomba, like he had said, and it is Dolupo right here. And it's a very interesting day. Bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. Okay. Any which way, we're going to be talking about a few things. It is New Music Friday, so there's a few songs that we're going to be reviewing. Also, it's appeal court season. That's all I can say at the moment. As there are going to be a lot of things that we're going to be talking about. There are a lot of judgments, very interesting ones at that we're going to be talking about breaking down. Also, there are a lot of entertainment stories, there are a lot of sports stories. One of the things is watch what you say online, because you don't know when you are going to be accosted to say it face to face. And I like it. I love it. Anyway, which way? Let's get right into the music of today. As this week, there's been a lot of very interesting music that has dropped, beginning from the week, starting from Ashake. I think it was Ashake's one that kind of like broke the ish. And before we get to that, wanted to put something out there. I think that a person had come out to kind of imply that Nigerian rapper, it was this week that we heard that Olayinka had died. And I think it was, according to him, he's saying that he was just in a state of denial, where he had posted that Olayinka is alive. Mm-hmm. So now he's saying that it was just denial and it wasn't like there was a stunt.
Yeah, there's no need to say a person. You need to mention his name so that we can help people get clarity about the Olayinka situation. What Dolupo is referring to is the sad passing of Nigerian rapper Olayinka, who passed away about 4 days ago. And we talked about it a couple of times at the bar. But yesterday, people went to town with the gist that it was a stunt. It was a publicity stunt a la Skibby. Yeah, Skibby done it before. It's the truth. He did it. And at the back of my mind, I was hoping, okay, let it be a Skibby. Let Olayinka.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you really never think. You really don't want people. You don't want people to die.
So death is so final, So sadly, a lot of people saw a tweet by what's his name now, CDQ. What's his name?
There's no CDQ.
What's the guy that tweeted?
I can't remember his name exactly. It just clicked.
And when he said he's not dead or not, people took it literally, but it was his own way of processing the sad passing or the sad demise of Olayinka. And people took it and they started tweeting and saying, oh, so it was a stunt after all and everything. Because again, there's news of his management releasing his album. His album is supposed to be part of New Music Friday today, and if you read what we wrote about, the story we put on our own website, because we had put it out there that he postponed the release of his album to this period to honor and respect his friend, Mohbad.
Wow. That's such
who had died a few weeks ago.
That's such a very sad incident, like and sad
Mohbad features on the album.
Yeah, it's just a very sad arrangement. Yeah. Any which way, just wanted to put that out there since we're talking about.
So let us continue
music.
To respect Olayinka and his family at a time like this, and people should please slow down on the dissing of a dead man. That I really do wish that it was a stunt. I really wish that Olayinka was pulling a stunt on us, and that is still there, but sadly,
Doesn't look like it's a stunt at the end of the day.
don't look like that.
Okay, so let's get right into it, and let's get into music today. As the songs for today, like I said, it started with I think it was Ashake. I think it was Tuesday that we saw a bit of Ashake and
Not Tuesday or Wednesday, but yeah, midweek though.
that he had released a remix of his song with her.
We didn't see that coming.
Nah, we didn't see that
I
coming.
didn't see a remix of Lonely at the Top coming, and of course, boom, Lonely at the Top, featuring the remix. You know, her, he, he, her, they, she,
H-E-R.
she, H-E-R.
Whichever one.
You know, she's such an amazing singer. She has a song with Wizkid.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
She sings well. She's American, Abby, and she jumped on that song "Lonely at the Top," and it got me thinking, like, okay, Ashake is not that guy that milks a song too much.
Too much, yeah. He has a lot of songs.
You know,
But I think that I saw somewhere where it was her idea. I think that was where I saw something like that. It was about the fact that she liked the song or something, and then she wanted to jump on it. And I think that is actually fantastic. It's a very fantastic collaboration. For me, it was not. I think that after seeing what Rema and Selena Gomez has done with a remix of a song,
Justin Bieber,
and Wizkid, and you know, there's so many people. You know,
Ed Sheeran, Fireboy.
When we've seen remixes of songs like that, I think that anybody cannot say how the song would blow up, how it will pan out, and how it will not. So, and the truth is that for this particular one, would I say that it was not needed? To me, it sounds, you know, okay, for someone like, remember the Peru remix, it sounded like a whole different song.
Yeah, because of Ed's own
angle. Like, it was a very nice collaboration, but it sounded like a whole
it could have been
completely different.
Peru Fireboy, then Peru Fireboy, and
Do you understand?
And there's no clash,
nothing.
distortion.
For this one, I think that is more about her trying to fit into the song. There is not much disparity between this remix
and the
original. Which I don't think is a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it is a bad thing. I'm saying that it was so much of Ashake that she just looked like she just wanted to slot herself into the song. So I do not see it not having a good turnout. I think that it is an amazing song. And I like the fact that it didn't take away the essence of his song because he was collaborating with what's the word now? With her.
Now to add to that, like I said, Ashake is not one that milks songs like, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing when people milk their songs. For instance, Victoria has this lovely Soweto song, you know, and they're like
was milked.
There are a couple of versions of it. CK, of course, went to town with his and there are like 1 million versions of it. So you understand what I'm saying. Now, a Lonely at the Top song will not be bad to have the techno house version of it. Lonely at the top, lonely. You know that it won't be bad to have the reggae version. Lonely at the tank. I'm saying there, Ashake, milk this song. Like, when I heard the air version, like, and I said, her, okay. Now, this makes me want to, like, if I was his management, I'm like, you know what? We need to get maybe a Sean Paul or some reggae person to do that version. Then we need to get the rock.
No, we're not. No.
We need to.
Thank you very much.
We need to get several versions. The
Moving
EDM version will be so nice. I already know who is going to produce a Sigak Lauren. You know, y'all should holler at that boy, man. That guy is fire.
Any which way, moving on from that, so shout out to Ashake. They did a number on this song. Oxlade decided to give us category and Piano.
I've not heard any of the songs, sadly.
Okay, so I heard Category. I've not heard Piano. It's it's kind of lyrics that if you really don't understand, maybe like a bit of it's a little bit diverse from your regular Oxlade. It's not the usual lovey-dovey or bad boy Oxlade kind of thing. It's a different vibe entirely. But I think he actually did really, really good with it. I really think he did.
What I kept saying is Oxlade not knowing how to spell. Oxlade, I mean that. I mean it in a nice way. Kulosa is a beautiful song. It has the version with Selena. What's her name again? Camila Cabello. There's Kulosa. He has a remix now.
Yeah.
What's that lady's name again?
I can't remember.
But you see, Kulosa is spelled Ku space Lo space Sa. Kulosa. Close the space, closer. Do you understand? Now, Category is spelled Ka, not the Kcate. You get? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come back to listen to this one because I know Oxlade is such an amazing artist. I use amazing a lot because when I'm amazed, you are amazing. See what I did there? Oh my God.
Any which way.
Oh my God.
Any which way. Let's move on from that. Talking about music. Sorry, it's just anyway. It's about things just pop up from time to time.
Yeah.
So I noticed. Okay. I saw Kevin De Bruyne trending at number 1, and honestly, I thought maybe like it was a football thing.
Yep.
Like, okay, is he fine? Like, what's wrong with him? And then it pops up and it's a tweet at Drake. You wondering like what does that mean? So apparently, Drake's song "Weak Man" has at a part of the credits has one of the writers of the song as K. De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody's been going on and on. He now had to come and back and tweet. He was one that tweeted it and he said, Drake needed an assist.
Oh yeah, and De Bruyne is the king of assists.
Yeah. And so, but he now had to come back and tweet. I'm like, okay, it's not me. I'm just a huge fan. Like, it's just coincidence, yeah.
And Drake, on his own part, is a massive sports fan.
Oh, yeah.
From basketball to
boxing
God,
he's always,
and soccer.
He's always.
If I say football, Americans will think we're talking about their own. Well, I'm talking soccer. Like, there's a picture of him and Joko that they recreated the iconic picture of Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah.
It was just, he was in character. Joko was looking at camera. I'm like, Oga, don't spoil this iconic picture. So of course Drake has been amazing. He's dropped another one. We're not even done listening to the last album that he dropped, and he's dropped another one. And of course that's where the gist about Kevin De Bruyne came up. So still talking new music Friday before Dolupo jumps to the next one. Just about the time that Ashake had dropped Lonely at the Top, the remix. My boy Ricardo Banks, I love him so much. He's an amazing singer. Dropped the song Fakosi.
Oh yeah.
And Fakosi in Yoruba means pose, shine, flex. Sure you get. And it's typical Ricardo Banks. It's another nice song that you all need to go check out.
Yeah, I actually hope this actually does really good. It's been doing good numbers actually, but I it's not a bad. It really isn't a bad.
The thing about Ricardo is he knows how to drop hits. Osun, by the way, without too much noise, was massive.
And he was milked.
And he milked it. The Ghana version.
Oh my God.
The Surulere version.
Yeah, just me. Anyway, LAX decided to give us Balenciaga.
Yeah, Balenciaga, the designer. Carry on. I've not listened.
Oh, I have. And it's LAX, really. It's not a bad song. It's actually not bad. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually not bad, really. Any which way, so there have been a few albums that have been dropped also, or EPs, then put it like that. Tenny decided to drop Tears of the Sun. Ajabata 22 and Barge have an EP together, Make Ino Cause Fight 3.
I listened to a couple of the songs already. I'm happy.
So
You know,
they're
there's
very,
42.
They're very, very good
There's
combo.
Emergency.
They do a lot of nice collaborations together. So it's not something that you would think that you'll be out of place. Any which way, Joe Boy also decided to drop Body Spirit, Body Soul and Spirit. Is an EP that he also dropped. Young John decided to drop 2 songs. So apparently
I
his
listened
album
to Joe Boy's EP already.
Yeah, his album is coming out very, very soon. That's Young John. So he decided to drop this and in anticipation of that. Anyway, so all these songs, I do not want us to take so much time because there's a lot of things that we have and a lot of breaking down that we have to do. So if all the songs and a lot more songs actually came out, we just don't have enough time to go through every one after the other. So you can go to check us out from 5 p.m. today. We're going to be playing all these songs all through the weekend. New music, Niger, right here on Boom Radio NG. So catch that. And pew, we move on to the next thing. The next thing on the line, really and truly, is the appeal court. Drum rolls, please. It is the appeal court season. Now, the appeal court is sacking, affirming, throwing out, doing all sorts of things as the case may be. And, a lot of, there's been a lot of controversial things from the appeal court lately, and everybody's wondering, like, okay, what exactly is happening? Starting from the appeal court.
You've mentioned appeal court like 5 times already. Can
Continued
you just get right into it?
The sack. You didn't let me finish.
Yeah, but
The appeal court continued the sack of the Kano State governor. If there's anything like that.
Well, if you're wondering why Dolupo used the word continue, the governor of Kano, Abba Yusuf, has already been sacked by the tribunal. And, of course, he decided to appeal because he wasn't going to take it lying down. So he got up to take it. Since he didn't want to take it lying down. It's an idiomatic expression. So he got up literally, went to appeal court, then he took it, then they gave it to him again. So as it stands now, he's going to go higher.
Did he say he's going higher?
It will go higher to make it supreme. You understand? These are the things that are on ground. But on a serious tip, the elections in Kano has had everybody on the edge. Yesterday we did mention it that this judgment was going to come today, and how, in fact, they actually had to sign some kind of peace treaty or peace accord. It's a dangerous scenario in Kano because the people of Kano love their politics. If you're looking for one state in the whole of Nigeria.
Oh yeah, they're very into their politics. They vote. They go out to vote.
A lot.
They're very, very into it. Compared to a lot of people, they probably have the highest number of voters. Not the highest number of voters.
Not necessarily registered.
Registered. Then people.
Active voters.
Active voters, yes. They
Kano
actually do.
Kano has that.
Yeah.
So Kano State is very vibrant when it comes to elections, but it's also very volatile. And we had spoke about it, how when the results of the elections came out, a couple of months ago, there was a bit of violence, Supporters from both sides, from APC and PDP, some were celebrating madly to the point where they actually destroyed a top APC supporters house. This guy that sings, political songs. Then, of course, there was some kind of reprisal. It's just a crazy situation in Kano, and I'm glad that, both parties agreed to kind of like hold their supporters in check.
I think
it could have led to a lot of. So far, so good. The results have come out.
It's still looking.
But the funny thing is,
there's a sit at home though. There's an order of a sit at home from the police.
But even in the court, at some point they had to fire tear gas.
Yeah. So let's break it down. Let's go right into the story itself. The Court of Appeal had sacked the Kano State governor, affirming the ruling of the tribunal. Now, it's very interesting what the appeal court is talking about. First things first, The judgment that was delivered today had held that the NNPP breached the constitution by sponsoring Governor Yusuf, who was not a party member. That's one. They had ruled that the tribunal acted in the public interest when it permitted APC to tender the papers during trial, since INEC had given APC access to materials piecemeal to undermine the petitioner's claim. So now they're indicting the NNPP. They're even indicting INEC for not giving APC the proper information as at when due. Now, that is one part of it, because, which is my issue, because I remember very well what the tribunal was really on about was the results, and how the results were signed by, what's the word now? A lot of the results were not signed by INEC, and we know that once it's not signed by INEC, it's not valid.
Yep.
Which is one of the issues that they had. And they had deducted a couple of thousands of votes from they had deducted 165,663 votes from the governor's votes, which now made him have lower votes than the APC candidate.
Gawuna.
That's how the APC person had won in court and tribunal. Now, the appeal court is saying not only does that case stand, they're also saying that he shouldn't have even contested the election at all. Now, my confusion with this whole thing is that if we cast our mind back to the Presidential Election Tribunal, this was kind of one of the issues that the APC had brought to counter the Labour Party, basically, about Peter Obi and his... interestingly, the lawyer, I think one of the lawyers in charge of the APC's case in the presidential is the one in charge of the NNPP's case. Right now, Wale Olanipekun. Now, he is saying, and I remember then the tribunal, and the same thing that was held, I think, by the Supreme Court was really about how, no, I don't think they went to the Supreme Court with that prayer anymore. But when they got to the tribunal had talked about how it was a pre-election matter and it was not APC's business. And there are a lot of other issues. Remember, even in Lagos State, same thing happened, and the court said same thing as well, that it was not, it's a party business. So my question is that, how come this court feels it is enough grounds to sack someone now?
Well, they probably won't predicate the whole judgment on that pre-election matter in court. It will be more about the electoral malpractices. You know, understanding the whole process of the election, knowing that result sheets must be signed by agents and, of course, INEC. So it will be more of that. But bringing that aspect up is a tad bit confusing.
Yeah, it is
because
confusing.
There is no consistency now. If you look at it, for instance, even the Labour Party during the Presidential Tribunal raised the issue of the alleged double nomination of the vice president.
Yeah.
They raised one or two other issues that, of course, the judges deemed
throughout.
Yeah, you know, like it was not something that they were supposed to bring to them. It was supposed to be a pre-election, and that because they did not have locus, that meaning that they did not have the right to bring it up.
So ask those questions. So that's where my own issue now comes from. Now, another thing that they brought up with this was that, according to them, they're saying that Wale Olanipekun SAN came up and said that there was a contention that APC, when APC was filing the original thing, remember that, okay, was it before? I think this was before the show started that we talked about how the APC candidate had already conceded.
Oh, yes, he did.
And so apparently he is not included.
He's not
in the
it's actually the APC versus
in the legal procedure
the
now.
Governor Kano And his party.
And so that was one of the things that Wole Adeleke was saying, that he was not included in the tribunal proceedings. Now, the court is saying that each political party is each candidate is represented by his political party. So whether your name is there or not, it doesn't matter.
All right, so again, we encourage politicians in our side of the world, to be mature when it comes to winning and losing elections. For instance, yesterday, the pictures emerged of the APC governorship candidate in Delta State who had gone to see the governor of Bayelsa State, Mr. Silva, who had gone to see the PDP governorship candidate and, of course, governor of Bayelsa. And, this is what we were expecting from all our politicians. Like, when the results come out and you know that you lost, you acknowledge it. And if you feel that you were cheated, you must have proof. Then go to court without whipping up sentiments. Do you understand? Just go to court with proof. You don't make noise about it. People have done it and have won. So you can do it. So, you expect that. And that's what Gawuna of the APC had done in Kano. Sadly for him, but eventually he will still be the beneficiary of all of this brouhaha. His party said that visit and whatever he did was on his own. That they have proof. They have proof, and that's what they've gone ahead to do in court, to show that Abba Yusuf, did not win.
And interestingly, he's the beneficiary of that.
Even after conceding defeat.
Anyway, I would like. I'm guessing that the governor would go to the Supreme Court on this matter. There's been a lot of back and forth if there's going to be any difference in what the court would say, but we can't preempt the court until we can't even. He has not even said anything yet.
Yeah, it's difficult to say categorically without knowing where the judges will be thinking, But, of course, if you go by statistics and go by some recent pronouncements, you would expect the Supreme Court to uphold the judgment of
both the tribunal and the
appeal court. However, it doesn't work like that. What works is that the proof, that they have will be re-examined.
And then they'll see what happens.
If they will be in alignment with them. And if they're not, that means the governor of Kano can continue
as a governor. We'll definitely follow that matter. There's
again, the implications of this is that if the governor, as he is now, Abba Yusuf, decides to go to the Supreme Court, we don't know how long that case will take. I know they try to speed things up these days.
Yeah, now, I don't think it will take that long anymore.
However long it takes. What it means, because constitutionally, when you are sworn in as a governor, you're supposed to spend 4 years. So what it means is that if Gawuna is declared the winner at the apex court,
the Kano automatically too now is back to
election.
An off-cycle election again.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Oh yeah.
That's the point.
We'll see, definitely, because
that's if it's a big if.
Yes, because even if whatever it is we're looking at is most likely, whatever judgment is coming from Supreme Court is most likely maybe December-ish through maybe early next year, January. So it's definitely going to be another off-cycle election. Any which way, my own is that I've been saying it and I'll still keep saying it. When do these judges begin to start indicting INEC?
Yeah, because you cannot point out all these mistakes
by INEC and then
no heads will roll. No sanctions.
When do we start talking about INEC?
It will not stop.
When do we start talking about INEC? How is it that INEC will declare an election, and there are about 165,000 votes that were not signed by you?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I'm sorry. Somebody needs to say something. Some things definitely need to be done. Talking about elections, still talking about the appeal court. The appeal court has affirmed tribunal's ruling and upheld the election of Governor of Bauchi State, Bala, Mohammed. So that's good news for him. We don't know if the APC is going to the Supreme Court on that matter. Now, still talking about the appeal court, they have now upturned the appeal court, this time in Zamfara State, has upturned the judgment of the tribunal. So the tribunal in the state had declared the governor,
The
governor's election.
duly
Yes,
elected.
they had affirmed his election and it was fine. Now, as of today, as of yesterday, the court had declared the election inconclusive, and they had ordered a rerun in 3 local government areas.
Well, the implication of this again is that, as it stands now, the current governor of Zamfara State is on shaky grounds.
Yeah,
Because
but most likely go to Supreme Court as well.
You don't know. You don't know. That election is going to hold. The runoff election will hold.
Will he hold? No, no, you can still go to Supreme Court before
Okay.
he holds.
Okay, let's see how it plays out, because the judges are saying the election is inconclusive, and it is based on facts that they have.
But they
So,
can still go to Supreme Court.
I'm not saying it can't go to Supreme Court. I'm just saying that if you put it in perspective, you get to Supreme Court to say that the judgment of the appeal court should be upturned.
Yeah.
The judgment is saying that the election was inconclusive. So if the judgment is saying that the election was inconclusive, you are saying that it should be upturned. And there is a strong statement that there are places where elections
it makes sense.
should be
I
rerun.
get you. My own issue is that
So,
what's going to happen in the state? It's just a scenario. I'm not saying that's what the Supreme Court is going to say. I'm saying that if the Supreme Court upholds the judgment of the appeal court, what happens then? Who is governor?
if nobody is governor, there has to be a runoff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what happens in the interim?
It's there now. You know that a governor who has been sworn in will stay until they say he's no longer governor. He stays there
Until the election.
They have the runoff. If he wins, he continues. If he loses, he packs his bags and he goes.
Anyway.
You know? And he's already reacted that it's just a minor setback, that people should remain calm and all of that.
Anyway, for people packing their bags, in your words, the appeal court has asked the Labour Party member and a House of Assembly member in Lagos State from the Labour Party to pack his bags, as they've now declared the APC's Age-Suleiman winner of the Amuwo Odofin 2 constituency.
Amuwo Odofin is an interesting part of Lagos. The results that came out from there have become a major talking point.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, we know that the Labour Party won the presidential elections in Lagos. And the difference is where? In Amuwo Odofin. And it's the same Amuwo Odofin that the Labour Party House of Assembly member is now being asked to, pack his bags and go. There's a lot of things that happened there. And the bulk stops at INEC's table again. As the neutral, independent election arbiter, referee, or conductor, or whatever you want to call them. What are they doing?
Okay, so
Excuse me.
I don't know whatever it is, but looks like some people are commending INEC. At the moment, or today, let me say today, PDP youths have commended INEC for having a free and fair election in the state.
In which state?
Kogi State. During the Kogi governorship election, that the election was free and fair. And they're commending INEC.
This is contrary to what the governorship candidate of the state has said.
Exactly.
In fact, that's Dino Melaye. If you quote him, and you can actually quote him or paraphrase or quote him
he wants the whole
verbatim.
election.
He said there were no elections. That's what he said. Now, members of his party are saying that the elections were free and fair.
Unfair. It's very, very.
You know how politicians always contradict themselves. You said that there were no elections. The same Dino comes out to say that the opposition parties had a meeting and decided to place him a distant third. How would they place you a distant third if there were no elections? Like, I don't understand. Or are we just taking your word literally? Maybe you're trying to say that the elections were not good enough, so they don't count. But that you saying that you were a distant third because you say they made you a distant third means you accept that you were a distant third. Abi? I didn't put those words in his mouth now. In your mouth. Okay? Well, anyhow, Sha, all the gist about him wanting his money back, Sha, I'm still no...
Any which way, still talking about judiciary before we leave the judiciary.
A whole lot of political judiciary stories.
500 lawyers have now decided to protest at the appeal court.
Who counted them?
I don't know. Over Plateau PDP's comment on the judiciary. Now they're saying that they are literally attacking the judiciary and what the PDP is doing is wrong. They are on the side of
the judges. The bar and the bench. The bar, not the boombao, but the bar is standing up for the bench. It's a beautiful thing to see because you must protect the dignity and the sanctity of your profession. A lot of people feel that things are wrong somewhere, but I always say that I'm not going to go with sentiments. If you have proof, bring it out. So there was a protest yesterday. We talked about it at the bar in Plateau State, where a lot of people were complaining about how about 4 or 5 PDP members lost their seats at the courts. And of course, a lot of statements were made. So now these lawyers have come together to say, we're not going to take this sitting down, sitting down, lying down, standing up. But whatever it is, it's a beautiful thing to see when lawyers come together like this, or people come together to protect their noble,
what they believe in. I totally agree. Now, before we leave the court matter, court has today sent SR's friend to jail again.
There are things that people should not joke with. Like war. When for instance, the war in Ukraine, the war in Gaza, please don't joke with those things. It has to do with people's lives and livelihoods. Too many sad stories come. And also referring to someone like Emefiele as anybody's friend. It is tantamount to terrorism, and you actually can be sued for that.
Defamation of character.
It's beyond that. It's beyond that. It is cataclysmic. It is something that can be likened to, an hydrogen bomb. Look, don't ever joke about Emefiele and somebody's friend in the same sentence. Yes, I use this name Emefiele because that's his name. And the courts are talking now. The EFCC, the ICPC, the police, the DSS, they've been working hard and doing a lot of investigations. And I know that him getting bail was right because they had held him without proper investigation. But I know that they were only doing that to buy time. They had done that to buy time. And the court rightly set him free, kind of. He said, you're on bail. You can't go nowhere. The SANs that you have hired will definitely produce you when the time comes. And the time came today. And one of the best things that I've heard out of a Nigerian court today is him being remanded.
Okay, so that is because his bail hearing is being moved to next week, which...
I don't care.
Why couldn't that bail hearing be today?
I don't care if his bail hearing is moved to tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. The fact that he has spent at least 1 week plus or 1 week at home, flexing and feeling like, I got away with it. Again, the man, Emefiele, came through with a lot of draconian policies that set us back rather than move us forward. In fairness to him, he came with some nice ideas too. In fairness to him. But too many things.
But in the real sense of
he decided to throw his hat into the ring when it came to picking a president for Nigeria without resigning his position as CBN governor is unheard of. The CBN governor is in neutral position. Look, the man was hired by the PDP and kept in government by the APC for 8 years, which means that in recent history, there's hardly any PDP central bank governor
nobody has
that
stayed
spent
that long.
close to 10 years.
Nobody has stayed that long.
And that's what he's done. And he was about to serve the third president. He even served him for a couple of weeks. Truth be told. And Mr. Emefiele, to be honest, whatever they're even bringing to court today is even a tip of the iceberg. I know and I believe so. But hey, allegedly, you have been charged for some procurement
fraud.
Yeah.
About, I think, to the tune of about 1.2 billion
Bere.
naira.
Bere.
That's a lot.
Bere in Yoruba means just.
That's
just
a lot of.
Only just.
Sorry, that's 1,000 of 1,000,000.
Yeah, it's still Bere now. But by the time the other cases start to drop, baga.
Any which way.
Remember Ogudemolana? Baga. I give it to them. Baga.
Anyway, talking about Uncle Demola decided to sack his Chief Justice yesterday and appoint somebody else. Bakam. Just like that.
Bagam.
Also, Governor Uzodinma has now received his certificate of return. Also, Governor Diri has received his certificate of return. Governor Uzodinma saying that the election was most peaceful in Imo State. Funny enough, I think I would agree with him. Even compared to the other states, their own results came out way earlier. There wasn't so much talks of violence compared to even in Bayelsa and Kogi State. So I think kudos to whatever it is that the security agencies and the governor had done there. So I really honestly think it is an amazing thing. Now let's move on from all this gist and let's move on to something very, very interesting. Okay, where do I start from? Okay, let me start from football. So
John Obi Mikel is on our headline. Yes. I just said I should remind you.
I know. The Super Eagles decided to...
What is the Super Eagles?
Wow. Are you that pained? Wow. Are you that hurt? Anyway, for people like us that do not watch Nigeria Super Eagles, not Nigerian games, sorry.
You're so proud?
I watch Super Falcons, I watch Super Falconets, and what's it called? Eaglets. I will say it anyway. I don't watch Super Eagles games because I cannot have high blood pressure. I cannot. I will not. Please, I'm a young girl. Thanks very much. Any which way, they decided to. We're back to our our idea of permutation and combination. If this person loses, we'll go. They've started again because as of the World Cup qualifiers that was played yesterday in Uyo, they played a draw with Lesotho. That everybody had seemed to have written off.
Lesotho played a draw with them. Correct yourself. They were the ones that were even in charge of the game. Who scored? Wow. Who scored first?
Anyway,
you might want to look it up. There's something that Nice the singer did on one of his albums before he became very popular. You know, and there's a part of that, there's a particular song that goes, talent they waste. Like, you know, talent is wasted. And it's reminiscent of the Nigerian football team. Like,
if you count the amount of stars that are in that team and what they're doing in their clubs,
you cannot mention one Lesotho player that you know playing anywhere in the world.
There is a player in the Nigerian team that was top 8 in the world, though. Just a few.
Yeah, he's injured, so people are making excuses. He's not playing now, but that's no excuse. You have players. We have Terry Murphy. We have players that Lesotho does not have.
Like, they're doing amazing in their clubs.
Now, you know, Africa changed the World Cup qualifying system. They switched it up. Mm-hmm. Now they have more people in one group, and it's going to go on. The World Cup is not for another 2 or 3 years.
3 years, actually.
So the qualifiers will last for about 18 months or thereabout. It's a league now. And your first home game, you lose. Because a draw against Lesotho is a loss. Nigeria is ranked 40 in the world. Lesotho is ranked 100 and something.
Anyway.
You understand? Now, I have a strong conviction. I have a strong belief. If you had picked an home-based team and trained them for 2 weeks, they would have, I believe that they would have defeated Lesotho.
Okay, so what's the problem? The people they picked?
It's not just the team. Remember that there's this story about issues with the coach and the FA and the team list, picking people that they didn't expect and blah, blah, blah. That's one. And it all speaks to organization and structure. Now, how much preparation did they have? Maybe you get 1 day extra than Lesotho to train on the turf in Uyo, which should not be. Like, we should have evolved to the point where we can get the bulk of our team in place by Monday morning. Like, you know, most of these guys played at the weekend.
At the weekend. So once
for
you're
the guys
off the pitch,
just even if it's going to cost you extra to buy them express tickets and first class tickets or whatever.
Once you're off,
Saturday, the ones who are not playing should have been, at least some of them didn't even play for their club. So like Friday, so that you're training extra. You get, they did not really, in fairness to the players, they did not really have proper, you know, training enough to blend. Some people will tell you, no, what do you mean? They've been together for years. No, not all of them.
Not all of them.
Some of them were making their debuts anyway.
Yeah.
So the core of the team remains, but we know that you need to practice together. You need a strategy. You need to practice together. The coach of Lesotho, I must respect them. He said, look, we played them like normal human beings. We did not care about their star status. And he was right. They
definitely got whatever it is over.
And in our group, there's Zimbabwe, there's South Africa.
Maybe they are playing Zimbabwe
in Rwanda. We're playing Zimbabwe in Rwanda
in a few days' time.
In 2 days' time. And there's no rest for us because you need to fly in, and by the time they get there, they're just going to have maybe 1 or 2 training sessions.
Anyway, we'll see how that drama goes. Like, again, I will not watch it again. But are we here to give you
I will keep rooting for them as much as they tend to always disappoint us. You know, I'll keep rooting for them because I'm Nigerian through and through, and I really do love the Super Eagles and the Super Falcons.
Any which way, moving on from that, and we're talking about a former Super Eagles player who is been trending. He has a podcast or something.
Obi-Wan.
That he is been, and
but this one was with this particular one now
was with Rio Ferdinand.
Was with Rio.
So really and truly, there's been a lot of controversial things he has been going on about. I think a few days ago it was about him being the most decorated player in Africa.
In Nigeria,
which a lot of people disputed.
Kano should be.
So, you know, there's this particular one that he's talking about now is saying about entitled family members that once you have money, there is an entitlement to it. And a lot of people were bashing him. And I remember seeing it. I saw a tweet where someone had talked about how he funded a record label for one of his brothers, that there's this other brother.
Made men music or something.
Yeah, that there was his other brother that was a footballer, and he played with Rangers at a point, and that the guy was so spoiled that because of his brother's influence, he got to get into teams, but he had to be leaving teams from team to team because he wasn't doing well and never really blew up. How he had opened a business for his father, and the whole thing went bust and all that. And the truth of the matter is that I don't even think that it's really just about footballers. I think that there is a major sense of entitlement. Sorry, when it comes to people that grew up underprivileged, and then there is one person that, you know.
Even the privileged ones. You see, the sense of entitlement transcends beyond tribe, creed, or status. Entitlement is a disease. It's something that if you catch it and you're not careful, it can wreck you. And at times, the problem is the people who have it don't know, and the ones that know don't care. Entitlement is a terrible thing. Now, let me first say this. Mikel Obi has been very vocal in the last 1 month.
Yeah.
And people are seeing this side of Mikel that they don't know.
They've never seen before.
And they are worried and they think they can correct or control the narrative. But we must allow this grown man, he's an adult, to speak his mind. You see, you don't need to like him. You don't need to agree with him.
You don't even have
He's
to
only
hear
speaking.
what he has to say.
In fact, he did not bring the gist to your house. He didn't bring it to your phone.
Yeah, it's his opinion.
As soon as you see Mikel, delete, block, move on. But you're the one that went to listen to this podcast or that podcast or the other. And the man is speaking his mind. He talked about how his father was kidnapped. And if you go and check, at least once, I don't want to say twice, but I think it was twice.
I think it was twice.
You know, he went through that ordeal. And let's not lie to ourselves about this entitlement thing.
See, you don't even have millions. Some people already feel that they are entitled to the small money that you have.
So true.
You will give somebody money once or twice. The next time they feel that it's a duty.
You don't understand. The guys at your estate gate, and you look at them and like, oh, how much are they even paying them?
Oh, yeah.
So once in a while, you tip them.
The day you don't tip them.
And guess what? You know, recently,
Game over.
One guy goes, oh, guy, you don't tell. You don't tell, meaning that you see me every day.
The money that you...
Oh, that money that you owe me, you have not been paying
the money that I owe your
It's
granddad.
the sense of entitlement.
It
It permeates through their lives. So, again, everything that Mikel said about entitlement, I like it. It's the
I
truth.
totally agree.
You don't like it, it's fine. But he was speaking his own truth.
It's the
He
truth.
was speaking his truth.
Let's call a spade a spade.
And if you don't like it, check yourself.
It takes
Yusuf, they're entitled.
It takes. Remember the story of I think Adebayo. Remember of him talking about how they were literally sharing his property when he was alive.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. It's not about footballers.
It's not just even for actors, for singers.
See,
even for us, where we say we dey thank God.
It happens, and then you'll be shocked.
You have one cousin somewhere that
you'll
just
be shocked.
That
the
just
people's
feels
level of entitlement.
So I felt social media, especially Instagram, was for posting nice pictures. You know, like we're grooving. Mm-hmm. But I find it hard to post now. You know why? Because I didn't make the connection quick. But whenever I post, like, oh, hanging out with, or at this, do you know what? My DM, bills. Or, I don't know, say, you don't even know that if that party, you don't know how I went to. You don't know how I got there.
I don't understand. I think that it's such a terrible thing that
we all suffer from this entitlement mentality. And I'm hoping that we can start to kill ourselves by looking into the mirror and asking ourselves these questions. Am I entitled?
Exactly. Let's do that. Moving on from that quickly before we go. Oh wow, we're almost out of time. But there's one that is giving me happiness in my soul. So, Nigerian singer Seun Kuti seems to be very controversial. He does a lot of things that a lot of people might not agree with. In fact, there's some things that he does that I personally do not agree with. But on this one, shout out to him. These are the things that we need. Social media has made people feel that they can say and do whatever it is they want to do. They hide behind their keyboards and their keypads and their phones and say whatever it is. They threaten people, insult people that even if you see, you don't even have the privilege of seeing them, and that's the truth.
They say social media is a leveler. You
say whatever and you feel that it is okay. Apparently, it's not okay in Seun Kuti's books.
Neither is it in my book.
As
your
a
book,
particular
and
person,
even your book.
As a particular person decided to threaten his life. And then Seun Kuti goes to the extent of searching for him, and right on his way out of Nigeria, tracked him on his way out of Nigeria, told him that he wasn't going anywhere until he made a video, and he was going to put it out there that if anything happens to him is... Interestingly, you know, the one that amazed me is the fact that I saw the video and the man was like, he's something, something. He's
an American citizen and he's going to make a call.
Uncle,
that if he makes a call,
Nigerian, don't be deceiving yourself.
If he makes a call,
what if you're
is going to be in trouble.
If you're a US citizen, what did you come and do in Nigeria? I'm not saying that you're not a
He's on
citizen.
holiday now. He came to see you, Nigerians.
What are you doing? What are you doing here? What did you come and do here? Like I'm like, are you joking right now? And then you feel that you're all that, and it is okay for you to threaten people. Are you joking?
So, going through the comment section of some of the people who have already posted the video of Sheung actually, accosting the guy at the airport, saying you're not going nowhere until you issue a disclaimer because you've threatened my life. That's me paraphrasing what Sheung Kuti said. And I saw people saying, Sheung is a disgrace. Sheung likes trouble. He's not like his father. They went
Are
on
you joking?
and on
He likes
and on.
trouble. You threaten someone's life, and what's what you...
But another video emerged of the same person that people were holding brief for actually agreeing and understanding that he had messed up and apologizing, then also pleading to be Sheung's friend. And can we be friends now? Sheung said, no,
I don't want to be your friend.
we ain't gonna be friends. Again, look at, Sheung is going to go on tour. I think he's going to Brazil. He's going to be there for a couple of weeks now. Shows are already lined up. He goes on tour of America and everything. Something happens to him. It's like, okay, you threatened me. You understand? So man has to extract that disclaimer from the guy, and the guy actually doesn't know what he has done, because I'm sure Sheung has many enemies. God forbid anything happens, but you have already said if anything happens, it's on you. Again, be careful and mindful of the things that you write or say or put out. Again, people think because they have false identities on social media, they can. It's a lie. You can be tracked.
You can.
You can be tracked with your fake.
As long as you are using internet, it's
You
your
can be
internet you
tracked,
are using.
So I don't care what anybody said about Sheung Kuti coming for this man. I support
On
what
this one,
Sheung Kuti has done.
I've said, if anybody has an opportunity to go and track down someone that has threatened you, please do. Because people need to start having sense.
Stop threatening people.
It is completely
If you get liver, do one.
horrible. It is a horrible thing for you to hide behind. It is very cowardly for you to... You see, see, other than the fact that it's cowardly, I don't know, maybe, other people, but I feel that we are a people that are supposed to be brought up with respect. It's something that it is in our DNA. But then you now see people say all sorts of things. I was talking to a friend a few weeks ago, and I think I remember who he was exactly. A lot of people were going off about. And I'm like that, even though there are a lot of people on social media that I probably do not even agree with a lot of things that they say, a lot of older people, other than the fact that I really do not like, maybe like tweeting and all those things, for the singular fact that this person is older than I am, I will not go out of my way to insult this person.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, it's like the way some people that I know decided to be cursing out the general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church.
Oh, that.
He had said something that.
And you know the funny
happened to
thing,
him.
that video is old.
It's an old video. But when people want to be up to mischief now, I actually know one of the guys that put it out early, some Jack NG guy, and I looked at and people went off on Baba, and I'm saying to myself, you guys don't understand.
What's your own? Like, is it your business?
The funny thing is,
even if you don't believe in it, if you don't have to believe in what he said, how does it concern you?
Our friend GSW Benga also, put it out that he had similar experience in Manchester this year. He said what he said.
You know, I saw someone tweet and said that it's funny how we suddenly have a problem with what he said, where we literally live in a society that has witch doctors
with
and
the old rain,
with
the old rain.
So it should not be a strange thing to people, but like you said, when people are up to mischief, for the sole reason that this person is an old person, it's not my business. If it does not affect me, and the man was preaching to his church members, how does it affect your lifespan?
So for most of you that went to the village for one burial or one wedding, and you were told to pay the rainmakers, and you paid, you think a man that says he called his God is lying.
Suddenly strange. Any which way, on that note, that is all we have to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very, very much for watching. We will be back again tomorrow at 3. Sorry, back on Monday. Sorry. At 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the bar. Do have a nice weekend.
Peace.